Hi, and thanks for joining me, and thanks to my sponsor, Kathleen Wayland of Wayland Financial Group in LaSalle. Rick Sipovic has been a sports broadcasting fixture for 44 years, almost all of that time coming here at what's now Starved Rock Media. He recently decided to step away from the mic, and we couldn't let our old friend leave without a proper goodbye. I sure hope it's just a see you soon, because I myself have known and liked Rick Sipovic for a few decades. Rick joined me on Saturday morning on WLPO, and it was a fun hour. Here's part of it.
And the folks here have just been great for me, starting with, of course, Lanny Slevin, who was my partner for 34 of the 44 years.
Oh, I know.
And Pat Chenault, who's my partner now. We've been together for about 8 years or so. And just people on the periphery, like a John Spencer, like Joe Hogan.
Right.
And some of the people even before that who were kind of maybe unknowing to them were kind of like mentors to me. And one of those was Art Kimball.
Oh, yeah.
Art Kimball was here and in his prime at WLPO when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I went to high school in Mendota, I listened to Art because I was just intrigued by not only his voice, but his delivery, his dedication, everything. And over the years, Art and I became friends. Art was always a kind of a bigger-than-life character.
Yeah.
But he was a very nice man, too, underneath all of that.
Yeah.
And, of course, he, along with Lanny, are the two people that were the ones that really taught me everything I know about the radio business.
And it hasn't been a full-time career for you. You've done a lot of other things, but this has been the constant.
Yes, it has.
I think when you and I were hanging out together, you were working sales here at WLPO, but you did other things too. You've worked at in banking, and you've done other things too.
I've sold cars,
yeah,
banking, as you said, and a number of other things down the road. And as you said, this was kind of my warm and fuzzy here.
Right.
I always came back to this. I always stayed with it the whole time, and kind of planned a lot of things around it. And I have to thank my wife, by the way, Judy, who put up with me being gone.
She's amazing.
So much during the times from when football started to the end of March Madness, because we used to broadcast everything. Yeah. Well, now she's going to have me.
Now you're going to be around all the time.
And she's going to be going, can't you go back and do radio?
Exactly.
Well, good morning, big brother.
Oh, Mike Brown, how are you?
Just fine. And you know what? I just have to say, it's not going to be the same. We've had many great trips, a lot of memorable games together, including the last one on Tuesday night. And thanks a lot for all you've done, and what great trips and memories. And I know there's some that will never be forgotten.
That's for sure. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for calling in. We have a great text here from Gene Vogel saying,
Gene was my partner for a year as well.
Well, he says, I have great memories of sitting next to Rick in the Howard Fellows Stadium press box in the 80s while he and Lanny broadcast IVCC football games, and I kept stats for the then Apaches.
No.
Rick, you're a legend. I'm glad to call you a friend. Gene Vogel saying.
Well, Gene, thank you very much. And you didn't mention the year that you did color and stats for me after Lanny retired for football, too.
He's too modest to talk about.
No, he won't talk about himself.
Right.
He never would. But
Right.
Gene's a great guy.
He sure is. WLPO, you're on the air.
Well, thank you very much. And Biscuit beat me to the punch. Mike Brown called. I wanted to be the first one on.
Sorry, Lanny.
You have to get up pretty early to beat Mike Brown.
To beat Mike to the phone, yeah.
The best days of my life were really when Rick and I were together. And somebody once said, if you make your job fun, it'll pay off big dividends. And our job was nothing but fun. No matter whether it was snowing or sleeting or fog or ice. And trips to the Quad Cities with looking at the cars in the ditch. But I want to tell you, we still had a great, great time. And the 34 or 35 years we were together were among the best of my whole life.
We actually hit a cow last night on the way home from Sterling.
No way.
A cow was loose on the road, and, of course, it was very dark, and we were up near Bureau Valley High School. and the cow just kind of walked into the side of the car and wandered away. And of course, Pat Chenault, being himself, he wanted to go back and at least get the steaks out of it. And those aren't wooden steaks. He was talking about T-bones, but no, I think the cow is probably okay. But we just gave him a little glancing blow. But that'll get your attention.
You're part of the way through a so long chat that I had with Rick Sipovic, longtime and honored sportscaster here at Starved Rock Media. At one point on the air Saturday, Rick recalled one long ago promotion that kind of went off the rails.
Tug of Wars.
Did you?
Back in the early 80s,
Really?
back in like 81, 82, then Maltino Distributing used to sponsor through Miller Lite a Tug of War series. And teams would come in from everywhere. And I mean, the one I remember the most was out at the Cedar Point Sportsman's Club in North LaSalle.
Yeah.
And they bring in celebrities, too, to kind of come in and just plug the event. And the one that I remember having on the air is Dick Butkus.
Wow.
And
that must have been something.
Well, he was my hero growing up. I mean, he's a little bit older than I, and God rest his soul. But unfortunately, sometimes meeting your childhood fantasy isn't all it's cracked up
Doesn't
to be.
work
Because,
out. What happened?
Dick decided he wanted to sample the product that that sponsored him before he got there.
His prerogative, I guess.
I guess so, but it was a interesting number of minutes that we had him on the air, I'll tell you that.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I just wanted to call in and congratulate you, Dad, on a great sports career.
Well, thanks, son. I appreciate that. And I know I probably never said this to you, but one of the highlights of my broadcasting career was the 4 years that I got to broadcast your games at LP. So I appreciate it.
Well, and the highlights of my life was going with you and Lanny to all the games you guys let me kind of hang around and carry the equipment. Sometimes I'd turn you guys off and
that once too.
Too many buttons.
You were probably in 6th or 7th grade, and you didn't understand what the button there was for, so you decided to push it and it cut us off the air.
You always look for the big red bright button. Push that. Yeah, exactly.
And I do have to admit that Lanny was a little bit more calm than you were. But,
probably.
And going down, and you allowed me to bring my friends down to March Madness and running around the experience.
Well,
really helps grow my love of sports. I know somebody else is here that wants to say congratulations, so I'm going to pass the phone over.
Okay, please do.
Hi, Grandpa.
Hi, Em. How are you doing, honey?
I'm doing great, Grandpa. How are you doing?
I'm great. It's a nice day today, and getting to reminisce a little bit about my radio career today.
Well, I'm happy for you. And I love you.
I love you too, honey. Thanks a lot.
WLPO, you're on the air.
Hello, it's Pat Chenault.
I know it is. How you doing, Pat?
I know that raspy voice anywhere.
You know that. There you go.
Well, you're on with Rick, your partner. What do you have to say, Pat?
Well, Rick, I can't thank you enough for the last 8 years being your partner, and I can't thank when I was coaching with what you and Lanny have done for the whole Illinois Valley and the amount of people that you've touched.
The fact that you called in and actually got out of bed this morning says a lot, Pat.
Well, Rick, the last 4 nights spending it with you and getting a cow last night meant a lot to me.
That was kind of the crown on the whole gym right there, wasn't it?
Pat, any truth to the rumor that you called Wyanett Locker before you left the scene of the accident?
I don't want to disclose anything on the air because then it goes to public record,
Okay.
right?
That's right.
Yeah.
He's not going to say anything, but we're going to his house for steaks later.
Freshest meat you've ever had.
That's right.
That is a fact.
All right, Pat, thank you for calling in.
No problem.
Thanks, buddy.
You guys, thanks for everything.
Take care. All right, bye-bye. 815-223-3093. Hi, you're on the air.
Good morning. This is Deb Nelson. Just wanted to touch base with how are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great. And I know a lot of people are calling in to just praise you for all you do for sports, but I wanted to make sure to let all the listeners know just what an incredible board member you were for so many years at LP, how incredible it was to work alongside of you. Even though we didn't always agree, we walked out arm in arm. And
absolutely.
I'm just blessed to call you friend.
Well, I appreciate you calling in, Deb. Boy, that's high praise from somebody that I really respect. Thanks a lot.
How you doing? Okay, Rick?
Yeah.
We're going to take a commercial break. Rick Sipovic is joining us. He has announced he's going to be leaving the sports broadcast booth. I can't believe it's permanent. I can't believe he's not going to just be talking to himself during a basketball game as if he were calling the game. And somebody's going to hear and say, Rick, come over here and take the mic. You're doing a great job.
Well, my wife claims that I can't even watch a game on TV without doing it. So
you're calling it.
This ought to be interesting, huh?
Start with Rod and Tom. Then check back throughout the day for updates on Starved Rock News, Talk, and Classic Rock. 103.9 WLPO.
Special day around here because Rick Sipovic, our old friend, is hanging him up. Hard to believe. But really a truly gifted sportscaster and sports journalist has decided to move on. We have some calls backed up on the phone lines, and we're running out of time, so we're going to have to make these kind of quick calls, but we want to make sure that we get as many people in as we can. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, I just want to say congratulations to Rick. I'm going to give a quick 80s story about Rick. We went to a ball game. I don't think you remember this, Rick. And we were filling up with gas before we went to the ball game, and you said, I go, hey, I'll chip in for the gas. And you said, no, well, you can just buy a round of drinks at the ball game, at the Cubs game. So we sat down, and what did you do? You bought a round for us, a round for the people in front of us, a round for the people behind us.
You should have known better, Kenny.
And I'll tell you what, Rick, I learned two things that day. I learned your humor and your friendship, and I value both, sir, and I hope you have a great retirement, okay?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Appreciate it.
All right, take care.
Mayor Ken Kolowski of Peru. Thank you so much, sir. 815-223-3093. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hello.
I would just like to say this is my dad. This is your favorite daughter.
Yes, you are, Amy.
She's waited a long time to jump in here, too, by the way.
Thanks for calling, honey.
Okay, that's okay. I was just calling to say congratulations. And one thing that I don't think I really appreciated or didn't express was I'm always thankful that you were always able to come to all of our activities, even if it meant like you had to, you had things going through WLPO or other games and those types of things. So I really just appreciate that you were there for us. And, you helped coach my brother's baseball games. And also you were a junior high basketball coach for a few years, which is like, I'm pretty sure that's how you made your penance. Having to coach junior high girls basketball for a few years. Gosh.
That's paying your dues, yeah.
Yeah. So, but we're just really proud of you, and we're glad that you're going to have some time to do what you want.
Hi. Rick, this is Joanne Slevin.
Oh, happy birthday yesterday, by the way.
Oh, thanks. I just want to say thanks for all the years of support you and Lanny with you and Lanny together. You did an amazing job, and you're a great friend. And Judy and I have stood in the background and chatted and laughed about a lot of things together, about you too together. But just want to say we wish you well. We wish you Godspeed, and you fooled him again, Lee.
In the vernacular of the game, you're right. Thanks, Joanne. I appreciate you calling so much. Thanks a lot.
God bless you.
Same to you.
Thank you. All right. Boy, this is a nice morning to do this, actually. We're getting some nice calls and texts, and I wouldn't have expected anything less, to be honest with you.
Well, I expected much less. Thank you.
You've touched a lot of people. And it's hard to, when you see the public and you see the kids and you watch them grow up. And
I can't tell you how many people came up to me last night when they had gotten wind of my retirement and just shared a little story or just well wishes.
You don't even know how many people you touch until
you don't, and
they say something to you.
Yeah, it's sometimes you don't even realize that people are listening.
No,
and then all of a sudden, when that's going to go away and be replaced by something probably better.
No, stop it.
They come out and they say that, hey, thanks for being a part of this all. And John Seneca, the LP coach, I broadcast his games with Lanny, and now we're doing his son's games.
Is that a rewarding thing?
It is
to have seen generations come through.
It is, but I always said I was going to get out before I got to the third generation, and I don't think that I've done that a third generation game yet.
Okay,
so it's probably coming up pretty quickly.
Depends on what high school you go to, I'm guessing, but the cover. But sorry,
I've had, and Lanny, of course, too, has had people, young people, come up to him and say, "How did you get into this? Mm-hmm. How do you continue to do it?" And the one thing that's a constant is you have to be yourself.
Yep.
You can't try and be somebody else. You can't try and be like Joe Buck or even his dad, Jack Buck.
No.
You have to be the best you that you can be.
Absolutely.
Get your personality to come out over the air, and people will appreciate you. Again, for everybody along the way, thank you so much for everything you've done for me, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Rick Sipovic.
I had a hard time editing this down to an acceptable length, but you can see a rough, longer video of our time together at the Starved Rock Media YouTube channel, and that's where you're going to find the other Tom's Take Weekly videos too. Thank you to Kathleen Wayland of Wayland Financial Group in LaSalle for sponsoring this weekly video project. If you have an idea on a topic or a profile, let me know about it. Give me a call at the office line, 815-223-3100. And I'll talk to you in the morning.